Welcome everyone to the part 3 of our third outline, which is loop with R. So in this video, we will talk about what are actually loops. So let's see what topics or points we will cover in this video. So first of all, what is a loop? Then types of loops. Then we will study about our first loop, which will be for loop. So we will see the control statements in for loop. And then we will also see how we can use conditional statements in for loop, which are basically if-else statements. So what is actually a loop? You might need to run a piece of code more than once in some circumstances. As a result, programming languages offer a variety of control structures that enables more complex execution paths. We can repeat the execution of a statement or set of statements using a loop structure. In a loop, statements are typically carried out sequentially. Let's see the types of loops we have in our programming languages. To satisfy the looping requirements, the R programming language offers the following types. First one is for loops. Next we have while loops. And then we have nested loops. We'll study about each loop in each video. So let's discuss what is a for loop. A for loop is a type of repetition control structure that makes it simple to create a loop that needs to run a certain number of times. For each item in a vector, array, list, etc., a for loop iterates over a set of statements once and tests the condition at the end of the loop body. In addition, for loop does not require the setting of an indexing variable beforehand. For loops are very flexible since their input is not restricted to integers or even numbers. Instead, we can pass characters, lists, or even expressions. Now let's see the syntax of for loops. The syntax is as follows. First of all, you have to write the for keyword, then you have to write down the variable and use the in keyword, and then the vector or the expression. Then you use the brackets, and then inside the brackets, you write down the statements you want to execute. Let's do it. For instance, you say num and you ask the user to give an input in this variable. You say as dot integer, then read line, and then prompt, and then you say enter a number to calculate its table. All right. And then let's run it. Let's say I want to calculate a table of 5. And I have stored 5 in my num variable. Now, in order to use a for loop, first of all, I will use the for keyword and then parentheses. Now, I will define a temporary variable, let's say I, and then I will use the keyword in, and then here I will say I want to run this loop until 10 times, from 1 to 10. Then I will use the brackets, and inside the brackets I say print, and as I want to do the concatenation, then I say paste, and inside the paste I say num, which is actually gonna be my variable. So I say num, and then num multiply by I. So I is actually your temporary variable, which is going to be incremented from 1 to 10 in each iteration. So num multiplied by I, which is actually going to be 1 in the first iteration, and it will be 2 in the second iteration, and 10 in the last iteration. So I say num, which is actually 5, 5 multiplied by I, and then I say equals, and here I say 5 multiplied by I equals num multiplied by I. All right, let's run it. See, your table of 5 is right down here. 5 multiplied by 1, 5, then 10, then 15, and so on. Now let's say you have a shop, and in that shop, you have different food items. Let's say burger and pizza, and then you say nuggets, then you have some drinks, you also have some, let's say, sandwiches, and you also have pasta. And this time you say print, and this time you say for, and then you say, let's use another temporary variable this time. You can also use I or any variable you want. I say for J in shop, and then I say print J. So actually this for loop is going to print out each item in my shop vector. In the first iteration 1, it will take the burger, and in the second iteration, it will take the pizza and print it. Let's run it. See? So this is how actually your for loop works. Now let's move forward. You might be wondering about the control statements in a for loop. You can control the program's flow and alter the output based on the completion of certain conditions by using conditional or control statements like if or if else. You can also use below mentioned control statements. All automatically generated objects in a scope are deleted when execution leaves it. We will use the following control statements inside a for loop. First one is break statement. Then we have next statement. Let's see the use of both of them. So first of all, what is a break statement and how it can be used in for loop? The break statement allows us to end a loop statement and move control to the statement that comes next to it. Let's implement. All right. So since you know that you have a shop vector that contains some items, and then you say for I in shop, and then you say print, we have the item inside the shop. So I will put it in the base function. All right. But this time I say if I'm about to use the conditional statement, and I say if inside this shop, if expression, if pizza is found in this shop, then break the loop and come out of the loop. All right, let's print out. So the loop will stop at pizza and it will not print the rest of the items. It will only print burger. See, we have burger and we have pizza. When it found pizza, it stopped. Now, let's say this time I use the same code, but I say if nuggets is found in I, then break the loop. Oops, I wrote the spelling wrong. So now this time it will stop at nuggets, as you can see here. Let's move forward. Next, we have next statement in for loop. So with the next statement, one can simply skip one operation without ending the loop. Now, in order to use the next statement, I copy the same code, and this time I say for I in shop, and if I equal pizza, then you can skip it by choosing the next keyword instead of break. And here I say print, paste, and then I say we have, and then I. Let's run it. So you can see here that this time we have skipped pizza. Now you can also use an else statement in a for loop. Let's say for item in shop, and then you say if nuggets is found in item, then print nuggets are found. And in the else part, you say print nuggets not found. Now you can see here that the nuggets are not found on the first index, because on the first index you had burgers, on the second index you had pizza, but on the third index you had nuggets. So the print statement of nuggets are found was executed. But for all of the other iterations, the else part was executed, which was nuggets not found. So this is how your for loops work, and you have learned how you could use the conditional statements or control statements in for loops. So this is the end of today's video. We hope you have learned how you could use for loops and how they actually work. Now good luck, see you next time.